Now before we find the surface area, we need to first draw a picture. So let's start by following the steps from the previous slide, which is to first draw the top as we have highlighted that. It is a right triangle and the numbers giving are 12 and 5, and the 13 from the bottom would also be the same on the top line right here. So that means the dimensions of this right triangle will be 12, 5, and 13. Now we need to draw the 3 rectangles attached to each side, which the height of the rectangles are going to be 4 for each side. That means the rectangles I'm drawing would have a height of 4. And the last thing that we need to do is to attach the base, which is identical to the top, to anywhere. So I'm going to choose the bottom as my side to attach it to. This will be the 13. That means the shape will be upside down. This is 13 as well. So 12 will be here and 5 will be right here. And here's the little right triangle. So the rectangle right here will be a 12 by 4. Which gives you 48. The rectangle right here will be a 5 by 4, which is 20. This rectangle will be 13 by 4, and that will give you 52. The triangle right here will be a 12 by 5, and we have to divide it by 2 for a triangle, so that gives you 30, and they are identical, so this will also be a 12 by 5 divided by 2. That gives you 30. Once you have these answers, all we need is to add them together to get the final result of the surface area. So the numbers that we're adding together are the 5 numbers right here, which is 48 plus 30 plus 20 plus 52 plus 30. And this gives us 180 square feet because we are looking for the surface area. So in this slide, we will go over another way to find the surface area of a triangular prism by redrawing the net into 3 rectangles connected together, such as the picture below right here. So let's first gather some information before we begin. Notice the front rectangle right here is a 13 by 4. The side rectangle right here is a 5 by 4. And the ending rectangle right here is a 12 by 4. Now if I were to make a net of this triangular prism similar to this, I would have a big rectangle in the center where the measurements will be from here. Notice how one of the measurements that's the same is 4. That means they will all have a height of 4 in this rectangle. The width will be divided into 13, 12, and 5. And the 2 triangles will be attached to the side, which I will take these 2 numbers as my side and attach it to the middle one because it is a 12 by 5. So the triangle will be 12 here, 5 going down, and it's a right triangle. So this is a 5, this is a 12, and it's the same thing on top. So I'm going to redraw this into a 12 by 5 again. So instead of solving each part separately like the previous slide, why don't we just consider this as one big rectangle and add the sides together, which is 13 plus 12 plus 5. That gives you 30, and that will give this whole rectangle a length of 30 by 4, which is 120. The triangle right here is a 12 by 5, and dividing by 2 we get 30. And the same thing happens to the top triangle. Still 12 times 5 divided by 2, that gives you 30. So instead of adding 5 numbers together, this time we only need to add 3 numbers, the 120, the 30, and 30. So 120 plus 30 plus 30 will give us 180 square feet as our final answer. To recap, to solve the surface area of a triangular prism, we should first draw the net of the prism, followed by finding the area of each face separately, or combine the side length into a large rectangle to save time. And of course, the last step is to add all the areas together to get the final answer. Okay, that's it for the lesson.